A 5-year legal battle opposing a private nursery school and a Muslim woman who was fired for refusing to remove her veil has taken a new twist, with France's appeal court threatening to overturn a previous decision that ruled the Muslim teacher was unfairly dismissed. It's revived the debate about Muslim integration in France, when a Muslim care worker was fired in 2008 for refusing to take off her veil at work. The Baby Lou nursery that sacked her was charged with religious discrimination. Today, the private company is appealing that decision.
I think the appeal court is aware of its responsibility. I think it knows it must solve a public debate and choose between the universal model of the Republic or a communitarian one that we want to avoid, but which is being imposed on us from the other side.
Many people believe that Islam is too influential in France's secular society, yet as a private company, rules of secularism do not apply to the Baby Lou nursery.
We're simply asking that workers remain impartial when working with children. For 5 years, we've been asking them to remain neutral and not impose their religious, political or philosophical views on children. I've heard today that our internal rules are perfectly clear and should have been respected at the time.
But France's attachment to secularism might be fueling a rising tide of Islamophobia. A French weekly recently headlined, "With Islam, the danger of communitarianism," and many view Muslims' demands for religious expression as a threat to national identity.
If these magazines think that by stirring up tension they will boost sales, they're wrong. Every time the profits go down, they attack Muslims to sell more papers. I don't know who it benefits, but it benefits people who don't want us to integrate. But we are already well integrated into society.
Representatives of the country's 6 million Muslims celebrated al-Adha with local authorities and politicians determined to show that integration works.
I've lived in France for more than 20 years, so I've witnessed integration at first hand. I've seen the tolerance of the authorities, of the courts and of the Republic, which advises everyone to unite and to help one another. They may be extremists who want to isolate themselves, but we should not think that the entire Muslim community is like that.
An important event in the Islamic calendar, Eid al-Adha remembers the sacrifice of the Prophet Ibrahim, who sacrificed his only son. Some say Muslims should be prepared to sacrifice some of their rights to improve their integration.
I think compromises needs to be made. Integration can't be one-sided. It has to be mutual. I think France needs to take responsibility for its citizens, but Muslims also needs to be responsible for this country. It's not a country in which they integrate, it's a country where they belong, and that they need to defend.
The socialist government has expressed its commitment to tackling religious discrimination, but so far has been unable to clarify the rules on religion in the workplace.
The
High Court struggled to decide whether or not the Baby Lou nursery is a public service. The verdict changes depending on whether it's a public service or a private company. As a result, the High Court decided the nursery should be considered as a private company. I think it's important to remain calm when dealing with issues of secularism and religious symbols. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that we all live together.
After years of legal wrangling, the appeal court will decide on the 27th of November whether or not the Baby Lou nursery acted legally when it fired Fatima al-Thief. But its decision won't solve the long-running conflict between secularism and Islam. Eid al-Adha celebrations were overshadowed by concerns that France's Muslim community is failing to integrate. For some, the Baby Lou case is a clear example. It represents the battle between religious freedom and religious neutrality. The case has provoked calls for more regulation in the workplace to protect secularism. But for Muslims, new laws will only encourage the separatism they're trying to prevent. I'm Christina Okello for JN1 in Paris.